Nice to meet you, first of all.
Hi.
It is complicated, I want to ask you, how are you, and if are you happy to be here in Rome?
Very happy to be here in Rome. I've had the pleasure of being here for 3 days. Michael just landed a couple of hours ago, so he's jet-lagged and perfect.
Coffee.
Coffee, first thing you do in Italy.
Cafe.
It's right. So, how was it for you, to be back in this role? I mean, it was more exciting for you, more thrilling, more challenging?
It was exciting, it was thrilling, it was challenging in its own way. I think physically the job is very demanding, and that part, I don't think we knew what we were in for. And that's actually a blessing. Not knowing what you're going in and then just being thrown into it is a blessing. You just kind of have to do it. But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Magical.
An adventure. Big adventure.
Yeah.
In which aspect do you find maybe your Tony and Ziva most changed in these, new episodes?
For me, I had no idea really how I would respond to the circumstance, because when we work together, we don't have a lot of deep discussions about how we're going to play things or what's going on, backstory. I prefer not to get into it, and I don't even really learn a scene until we start to block, meaning who's going to sit and stand and who enters and exits, because I'm terrible at memorizing things, so I can only remember once I look in those eyes, and then I go, I know why I'm here, and then it comes much more easily. And it's my favorite adventure is this show, and I've had many jobs and been on many, so thank you for that, Cote de Pablo.
Thank you.
How was it for you?
For being on many jobs and still appreciating this one.
You are the adventure of a lifetime.
Oh, no pressure.
Keep it classy.
Was it the same for you, Or...
No.
No.
Just be honest, yes.
No, I mean, by the way, I'm always going to be honest. It was absolutely the same for me. I always say, one of my favorite chapters in life was my first year in NCIS. In part because I learned how to work in such a different way. He is a very spontaneous creature.
Nice word.
Very good word. And it surprises you, always shifting, always changing, and I came from a world where the text was sacred, and you came in and you gave your lines and you stood your mark and you gave it your all, and it was sort of, and Michael would look at me and he'd go, and then he'd throw something at me that was so different from anything I had in my mind. And so I also love that. I love the spontaneity, and I love the idea that you get to play. And so the idea that I had a partner who would do that, that's it's a rare thing.
It was exciting.
It was very exciting. So to be fair, that was one of the best years of my life. And so to be able to somehow go back to that energy, but now it's new and it's our thing and we were part of creating it, it's all the more special.
There's a lot of actors, and I use the umbrella term for performers, who are concerned about how they're being perceived, not just by the other person they're working with, but by the audience, by the director, by some executive they're trying to impress. In the business of show, people get in their heads and they get in their own way, and it really makes it work to do scenes and to do, because you can tell when somebody's not there. They're protecting their vanity. They want to, and they're getting looked at all the time. And we don't, we want to get dirty and get in there and see what's going to happen. And
luckily, by the way, that's a really good point. Luckily, it was not a glamour show. You know what I mean? There was no glamour on that
and
show.
Yet you looked...
Yeah. It was not a glamour show, so we were stripped of all of that kind of Hollywood thing, for lack of a better word, and we were just allowed to sort of, play the part, which for me was, something that I love to do, but you never have the guarantee that you're actually going to meet someone that will go at it the same way you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or certainly you were really looking, when I met Michael was really kind of going into himself as an actor and trying to demolish everything that had been created, certainly by him. And within that kind of, I'm going to demolish all of this and I'm going to find this new person, there was, this highly creative, spontaneous creature that was popping up, and I was a part of that. I got to watch that, which was thrilling.
I have one last question, because I have to confess I am a big fan of NCIS and of you too. And in this new episode, the dynamic was absolutely crazy. It doesn't change. It doesn't change at all, even now that you're both parents, Tony and Ziva are parents. So I want to ask you, which is, according to you, the secret ingredient of the relationship between Tony and Ziva?
Between Tony and Ziva, between Cody and Michael?
Oh, you choose.
I don't think you'd be able to have Tony and Ziva if you didn't have Michael and Cody, So the fact that we have a very easy, complex, fun dynamic is something that Michael and I really don't talk about. It just, we don't like to mess with it. It is what it is. We respect it for what it is, and we don't take it for granted. We are totally grateful of it, and I think as we get older, we know how much we have to take care of it, because it's a very special thing.